Welcome back, Batches.
We're so close.
I know, only one more week.
I can't wait.
I will say, like, today I was like, okay, I was into this episode. But it's mostly because it was, like, dramatic.
Right. So we have next week, obviously, and then after the final rose?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be an 8 to 11 night, and then we have to record. We're going to be, like, up till midnight.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to the juice later. So let's start with Blake's date.
Yeah, so they took a shot of maple syrup, and then he commented on having maple syrup by his bed.
I do not want to think about that. Sounds like it would burn.
I don't know.
So then Greg is watching their lovely date.
Yeah, like they were playing hockey outside.
Mm-hmm. And he was just spying. Like
Yeah.
a little creep.
Yeah.
And then, so she meets Blake's family, and his sister freaking throws him under the bus and is like, well, you said this about Claire, so how can I trust you now? And it's like, damn.
She said, you said that about Claire, and then it was Tasha, and now it's Katie.
Yeah, it's like, okay, do you love your brother? You're just freaking...
Yeah, throw him under the bus. She just said what America was thinking. It's fine.
Right, but like, that was a little brutal on national TV. But I mean, if it's the truth, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, can we talk about her freaking half sweater?
Oh my gosh. So this episode was filled with terrible outfits from the early 2000s.
Yeah, it felt like she's running out.
Yeah, she had that weird red shirt that was like a V-neck, but it was collared.
It looked like Forever 21, which is fine, but, you know, step it up.
I know. I'm like, girl, you need to be looking good. It's the last, like, couple episodes, you know? Don't be wearing that.
Right.
And then, yeah, she wore that dress with the sweater that went down, like, right past your boobs.
Right.
And that had sleeves.
It was like an old pink color, like.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Anyway, that doesn't really matter, but it bothered me.
Yeah.
So then was Justin's date, and his freaking parents didn't want to come.
Yeah, that's sketch, and that is a red flag to me.
Yeah, that's rude. It's like, I get that they may not be, like, supportive of him coming on the show, but if he's serious about it, you might as well be there for him.
Yeah, for real. But at least he had somebody. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy better have, like, at least somebody.
Yeah.
So he at least had 2 friends.
They seem sweet. They
seem nice, but it was just like, it's very different having the friends versus the parents.
Yeah, I mean, friends are that. They are friends, whereas parents can be probably more well-rounded when it comes to the person.
Yeah. His hometown, there was, like, nothing really that stood out to me. They were in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Well, Baltimore in Mexico.
Yeah.
But something I did notice was that he said, I'm falling in love with you, and she just giggled and kissed him. Mm-hmm. That was cringy.
I think that's what Greg was looking for, a giggle and kiss maybe? I don't know.
Well, we need to talk about that in a second. So I guess we'll move on to Greg.
And his date was my favorite. I was so disappointed.
Greg's date, why are you disappointed?
Like, after everything that happened, like, I thought that his hometown date was the best. Like, how she did fishing for their first date, right. And he ended it with basketball, which was something he did with his dad.
Yeah.
And then I thought the parents, like, the vibe with his mom and family was really good with Katie. Like, I got the best vibe from that.
Yeah.
And then, not to mention, the video made him cry. I was like, this is the best hometown date ever until the end.
Yeah, he seems very, like pure-hearted, but we need to talk about that in a second. I know he keeps saying that. But, so then obviously this is where it gets juicy. He says that he's in love with her.
Yeah.
And she filled this hole in his heart, and she gives him the blank stare with her tilted head, and he is looking for a response, and she just goes, I just love looking at you.
Yeah. I don't understand what was going through her head. Part of me, like, wants to defend her, because in that moment, that was bad.
It was, like, so cringy. It
was bad. Yeah.
She looked like a robot. I think he was right in saying, like, that was not you.
Yeah. I know. A part of me just wonders if she's so overwhelmed in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you ever talked to somebody and then, like, you're like, this happens to me all the time at work, where I'm so busy and so many thoughts are going through my head. Someone's telling me something. I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. Like,
yeah.
Like, because I zone out.
I do that.
Yeah. Maybe that was what was going on and she didn't even, like.
Well, I think she also feels like she already told him that she's in love with him, which is also confusing to me because it's like, okay, you've already told that you're at least falling in love with him, which is a pretty big deal apparently to you.
Yeah.
So why can't you just say it again and give him something? Like, you literally gave him nothing.
Yeah, like, and then it was like she started giving him something after he was already done. Like, and like, to his point, which I'm not going to defend him much longer, but to his point, she started asking him, what's wrong? I just told you I loved you and you gave me nothing.
Yeah, she really freaking pissed me off, and
yeah,
I'll probably defend him way more than you will.
Probably.
I think because she looked like a robot. She didn't say anything meaningful in that moment. Like, I just love looking at you is such a vain, superficial thing to say, and you see him crying.
Yeah.
First of all, and saying something that he says he hasn't really done with anybody else.
Yeah, and he, like, kind of jumped towards, like, and I do feel bad because, you know, you do see the conversation with his family where he's like, she's the one, she's the one, she's the one. How would you feel, you and your family, watching that scene back together and then them seeing that reaction when their son said, I love you to a girl? Like, that would be embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on with her. And then...
I mean, but, like, I have to give her credit. She's been through 3 hometowns at this. This is her 3rd. She might just be straight up exhausted. Like,
I get that, but, like, this is what you're here for.
Yeah, and you know, I just wonder, man, if the circumstances were different. I think that the producers made him the last one to drive him crazy.
Of course.
I wonder what would have happened if he was the first.
Yeah.
I wonder what would have happened if she didn't necessarily say I love you back, but she said, oh my gosh, like, and kissed him and acted happy. Yeah.
Or she cries at the freaking drop of a needle, and she doesn't cry when he pours his heart out to her.
Yeah, it was weird.
That just really bothers me. Like, you cry over Hunter leaving, but you don't cry when the guy who you supposedly he's been your number one this whole time, tells you something really important. Anyway, I'm just driving the same point home, I guess.
So they kind of leave things like they had a fight. They, like, left things alone almost.
Well, yeah, and they were, like, in that little dark nook somewhere.
I know,
going back and
like,
forth.
he was about not to kiss her, and she's like, give me a kiss. Like,
oh, she did?
Yeah.
I kind of missed that.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna kiss her.
I don't blame him. And I don't get... She looked so stupid because he... as soon as she said, I just love looking at you, he immediately shuts down. And then she goes, why are you upset? And he's like, why do you think I'm upset? And she doesn't get it.
Yeah, I think she probably, and she kept stating, I don't even know, like, what happened. I bet she'll look at that episode tonight and be like, oh.
I wonder if this was the first time she's seeing it.
Probably.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so anyway, they go their separate ways. The next morning, Greg has spiraled.
I don't blame him.
He has spiraled. And then they go to the hotel room, and this is where you and I start disagreeing on who's right, who's wrong. So I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, so basically she gives him that whole blank stare look again, robotic. Yeah. She gives him nothing, and it seems like what I gathered was they are both testing each other. So he's testing Katie to see if she'll drop everything for him because he feels like he deserves it. Yeah. Because he's laid it out on the table and she's not reciprocating anything. Yeah. She's testing Greg to see if he has the wherewithal to just hang on a little bit more and trust her.
Yeah.
It's like a matter of trust to her. But
it's like a stupid battle that no one's going to win.
It is. It's almost like a childish miscommunication thing.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of the vibe I've gotten from them from the beginning, is like there are little communication issues that will be a bigger issue.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought she had no passion at all. He was like basically begging her to stand up and say something meaningful, and she just kept saying, I just don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. Mm-hmm. It's like, we get that.
Yeah. Like, I think even if she started fighting him back and showed passion,
yes,
things might have been different.
Yeah, I think that anything would have been better than what she did. Mm-hmm. And like, even when he left and she kind of chased after him, she didn't run. She didn't even seem as alarmed as when Andrew left.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. I was confused because if I were in that situation, I feel like I would be like, we're going right now. Like, if you're getting ready to pull out, I'll go ahead and pull it out. We'll call it quits. Let's go back to New York.
Right.
I mean, that's what I would have done.
Like, I don't know why she's so stuck on keeping it vague for the sake of the show. Like, did the producers get in her head that much?
That's what I'm wondering. And
yeah.
What really frustrated me about Greg, I was on his side up until she chased after him. Because, like, you know, he made a good point. And she really did use the wrong language when she said, you're number one.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to be number one. I want to be your husband. Like,
right.
You know, that's essentially what he said. He didn't care about the roses anymore. He just wanted to be with her. Mm-hmm. And he wanted things to be real.
Yes.
But what just drove me kind of crazy was, like, it's kind of like, I felt bad because I think she was legitimately shocked. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's really fair to, like, expect someone to react right away when you're shocking them. Like,
yes.
I think she was literally thinking she's going to make it to the rose ceremony and they would reconnect on Fantasy Suites and she'd explain everything, like, where they both had. I think that's maybe what was going on in her head. But no, he's, like, straight up, like, peace out. And then she catches up with him and it seems like her thoughts catch up with her. And she's like, I've said from the beginning, if you go, I go. Like, mm-hmm. You know, you were always it for me. Da 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 da.
She was about ready to quit at that point.
Yeah, and, like, then he was like, I feel like you're not giving me enough of what I deserve. And I'm like, what do you deserve? She's telling you right now she'll quit the show for you. Like, I don't know what more he wanted from her at that point. Like,
I guess that's a good point. I didn't really catch when she said, if you go, I go.
Yeah, she said several times, like, if, from the beginning, like, you were it. Like, she said that a bunch. Yeah, she, that's why she left. Like, book my plane ticket home.
I think he was just looking for some key words. I think he was probably looking for either love, in love, you're my future husband, mm-hmm. or something like that, and she gave no indication of the future.
Do you think, though, if she looked at him while they were on the cobblestone near the pool, and she said, don't leave, I love you, do you think that would have changed anything?
I definitely think that would have changed something. I think that he was almost ready to hang on till the end, but because she's turned into a robot, he felt like powerless and that she didn't love him.
Do you think that he went up there with the plan to talk to her or the plan to leave?
I think it was a test.
Okay.
I think they were both testing each other.
Yeah. So,
and Katie sees anybody leaving mm-hmm. as, well, you're not good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's kind of how she treated Michael when he left.
Yeah, I think that what really just annoyed me about the whole situation was, she did keep Michael so long when Greg was number one. Like, mm-hmm. he has a kid. You should send him home week one mm-hmm. when you were this hung up on Greg.
Yeah.
Like, we'll stick with that real quick. 2, I do have, like, a feeling that maybe, like, though Greg was looking for any little thing to justify him leaving like that so he could be the Bachelor. I do have that in the back of my mind. Like, let me just find one thing and let me make it look so dramatic and like I'm so upset of it. Like, and I think he like found a moment where she was exhausted and was like, here's my out. Because I mean, from the beginning, I've been like, does he actually like her?
I don't doubt that for a second.
Well,
I feel like he's so wrapped up in her.
Really? Sometimes like he would, like she even made the comment like, you look like a lost puppy dog sometimes. Like I think sometimes maybe like he just was like robotic himself almost, because it's like he knew what he signed up for. The process was too hard, and like I said, I feel like maybe I'm overthinking it, but maybe he was looking for his out to be the Bachelor. I don't know.
I really doubt that, but
who knows?
I could be wrong.
So I want to say real quick for our listeners who don't listen to Nick Viall's podcast, I listened to it, and he had a really good interview with Katie a couple of weeks ago, and it was really, really good. And she said there was a bigger villain than Thomas. And I don't think she meant Hunter. I think she means Greg. So I think, like...
You don't think they end up together?
No.
Do you think Blake pulls out some big stop at the end and she ends up with Blake?
I think she ends up with Blake. I do. I think... I think they set this season up, because how many weeks ago did we start to get the inclination that Greg was leaving? 4?
From the beginning.
Yeah, because, I mean, really quick he started struggling. So I feel like maybe the producers kind of wanted to make us think that Greg was the end-all, be-all. She was done when poop. Why did I say poop? Poof. I meant poop. Maybe poop. She ends up with Blake. I don't know.
That is very good. I didn't know she said that, but I bet that you're right. Mm-hmm. But I still want her to kind of end up with Greg, obviously.
I'm interested to see what happens with her and Greg. I'm interested to see after the final rose if he has gone, because Caitlin Bristow standing outside of that bedroom made it seem like he was gone. Like, I don't know.
I was annoyed with her because Katie goes, yeah, what questions do you have for me? She goes, none. And then she asks her 5 questions.
I know. But Katie was being like a little aggressive to somebody that wanted to just be there for her.
Well,
but I mean, I would understand if I just got dumped on national television for being robotic. I probably wouldn't want to talk to anybody either. I mean, I do get it.
Well, I don't know if I have any other observations. I guess we should touch on the bloopers at the end.
Oh my gosh. The
in memoriam
farewell to Greg.
It reminded me, after Walking Dead, there was this show called The Talking Dead, and they did a compilation in memoriam of the zombies that died.
Oh wow.
And it showed how they died. So I feel like that was Greg's death scene.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm interested to see what Twitter's going to look like tonight. I'm interested to see what Katie's Instagram's going to look like tonight and tomorrow.
She's posting those thirst traps.
Yeah. For real.
She needs to get off Instagram for 5 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I was all Team Greg, and towards the end I was like, oh, this does not look good. Greg.
It really took a turn.
It took a turn for me. I know you're still kind of a fan and you think it was Katie. But that's what's great about us, is we can have different opinions.
Yeah.
But I think we should definitely do a poll tomorrow.
Yeah.
And see what people think, because I'm interested at this point.
Yeah, I guess we should see who all is watching The Bachelorette anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I guess let us know your thoughts. Maybe we should post like a picture or something so people could leave in the comments or something.
Yeah. Let's figure something out. We'll do a poll tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, we definitely want to hear thoughts on this. Was Greg good or bad? Is he the villain that Katie was talking about? I don't know.
I hope not, but probably.
Next week, we'll see what the freak happens. Good Lord.
We'll see you next freaking week.
Woo woo! All right, bye.
Bye.
Hey, it's Becca.
Hey, it's Maddie.
Thank you so much for listening to the Basic B podcast.
Follow us on the gram at basicbpod.
And join our private Facebook group linked in the episode notes.
Be sure to catch our next episode and leave us a nice review.
Until then, stay basic.
Bye, bees.